In today's session of TS Academy, we'll talk about sports photography, equipments and tips. What is sports photography? If I ask you, you may say capturing a sporting event. Very true. Sports photography is when you capture a sporting event which involves a physical exercise or physical movement between players and teams who are competing with each other for either for entertainment or for a cup or an award in a league or in a tournament. It is photography which focuses on sports being played in the field. It is a live action photojournalism. Why it is a live action photojournalism? Because here the photographer is capturing what is going on live in the field so that he could bring it in front of his readers in photographs. He could make them understand what the moment was like. He's capturing the victories, he's capturing the losses, he's capturing the emotions which are going on in the field live. It is also a product or a fashion photography. In today's time, where everything is market oriented, these sports persons and teams are brand endorsers of certain products, merchandise, or teams. They promote it, and photography is one of the ways or the means through which this promotion is done. Therefore, sports photography focuses on sports. It is a live action photojournalism as well as it is product and fashion photography. Now, what does a photographer do? A sports photographer works for the news agency, newspaper, or a magazine. He captures the photographs, give it to them, which is then printed in their respective mediums. He is placed in the media area, which is booked for the media persons, so that he could get a clear view of what is going on in the field and capture it. What does he capture? He captures what is going on in the field. He captures the action of the players. He captures the sidelines, by which I mean the reaction of the spectator, the coaches, the umpire, the team members in the dressing room, and the mood as a whole, so that it is conveyed to the readers sitting inside the drawing rooms and the viewers who are watching the play live in the drawing rooms. He is also a freelance photographer who sells his photographs to a stock website which can use it for advertising purposes or to build up a brand. Now, what are the tools that a sports photographer must have? He must have a DSLR camera with a fast autofocus and a higher frame rate, preferably 8 frames per second and more, because he has to capture the movement live which is going on in the field. It's a movement, the faster movements, which he needs to capture. Therefore, this is the basic requirement. Then he needs to have good lens. He needs to have a lens, which is a telephoto lens, and a fast autofocus lens for a better performance. Fast autofocus is needed to focus on the movement because movements are fast. Telephoto is needed to capture the closer action because the action is going on farther in the field. To get closer to the action, you need a telephoto lens. You need a wide angle lens because it has a shallow depth of field, which results in a better subject isolation, which means the subject is isolated from the background and you get a clear picture of the subject, the movement of the subject. Faster shutter speeds are used to freeze the movement, freeze the action, so that the action conveys the adrenaline rush which is going on inside a play. If we take two scenarios, say an outdoor sports, then for the outdoor sports the distance is larger. Okay? The media person is placed farther from where the action is taking place. The light is brighter because you have sun, which is a natural source of light. You also have floodlights in the stadium or the arena which are of very high intensity. So you need lenses with a longer focal length and a slower aperture. Then for the indoor spot, the distances are much less as compared to the outdoor spot. The light is also dimmer. Therefore, the lenses have shorter focal length and a faster aperture to get a clear picture of what is going on in the field. Then you also need to have a tripod and a monopod so that you get a stable shot. The shots are not very shaky. The shots are crisp and clear. Therefore, you need tripod and monopod, and also tripod and monopod to take pan photographs, which mean movement of the movement which is captured from say left to right or right to left. Then you need batteries and the charger so that you don't miss out on the key moments. You capture everything for your readers and for your viewers. Now, what are the tips that you should keep in mind if you are a sports photographer? First of all, you need to have a complete understanding of the game. What is the game all about? Okay, what are the rules and regulation? The nomenclature which is followed in the game, so that you understand the importance of the game, the importance of uh, the nature of the game, so that you can capture it and do justice to it. Then you need to understand the use of the camera which you have, the shutter speed, the lenses which needs to be used. Then a sports photographer has to position himself in such a way so that he gets a clear picture of what is happening in the field and he can capture it without facing any interruption. Then you use a telephoto lens to be able to capture an action in the field which is farther from you. A wide angle lens can be used to give an interesting spin to your image and make viewers feel like they're sitting inside the arena, inside the court. Now, experienced photographer also use certain things like they focus more on the image so that they get action which is clear by blurring the background. They focus on the facial expression of the coaches, the players, the eyes of the player, the action of the player, so that the adrenaline rush through which the player is going on is depicted and it connects the readers or the viewers emotionally with the player. Then the action which is going on, the action, the stance the player is taking, the runner up the bowler is taking, so that it depicts the movement. And then he uses the equipment wisely. He uses the equipment, when to use a telephoto lens, when to use a wide angle lens. This is only possible once he understands the game, he understands the nature of the game, and he understands the equipments as well. Then sports photography can be divided into two slots. One can be a sports trait where you're focusing on a single athlete game and you're focusing on the athlete who's playing that game. Then there are stories. Stories, I mean, something which is newsworthy. Maybe the team coming together and celebrating the emotionally charged moments, the emotionally low moments that can be captured. Then you keep an eye on the position of the sun and then accordingly you change your position so that you get a crisp and clear image when the outdoor game is concerned. Then your camera is always on autofocus so that you capture the movement which are very fast in the field and you don't miss out or get a blur shot which kills the photograph. Then you have to be proactive rather than reactive. You don't have to react what is going on in the field, but a proactive approach is needed to capture it so that you don't miss out the key movement on the field. Then you have to experiment with depth of field so that you get a different types of photographs. Then you also need to do a pan photography so that you can capture the entire arena, give a very interesting photograph to your readers to ponder upon. And don't forget your surroundings. Clicking the surroundings, clicking the spectators, clicking the sideline is important for a sports photographer because it helps the reader to put everything in context to the game. Was helpful. Kindly log on to our YouTube channel, subscribe it, share it, and do comment on it.